Good morning, YouTube. This is Man on the Radio page coming to you live on YouTube. As you know, I'm a TV fan. I'm a fan of certain actors who I grew up watching. And I saw this posted the other day, and I always try to do a birthday announcement to somebody who I'm a fan of. This is one Sir Patrick Stewart. As you know, Patrick Stewart, you know him for many years from his time in television and movies. He's a great actor. He's a legendary actor. You know him from his roles from Captain Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek: The Next Generation to Professor X in the XMen movies and many other movies and TV shows over his career. But anyway, this is his birthday was yesterday, and I saw on social media the other night. And I said, I got to do an announcement for it because he's one of my favorite actors. I love the characters he's played over the years. Now, Sir Patrick was born July the 13th of 1940 in Muirfield, England. And he was born to his mother Gladys, who was a seamstress and a textile worker, and his father Alfred, who was a original sergeant major in the British Army. Now, he had an older brother, Gordon, and also another brother, Trevor. Now, his middle name was kind of funny name, but I think later on he changed it around the 80s. Now, as he was growing up, he was like a very strong-minded young boy. He was into, he liked to stop and listen to birds. He was in parades. He was very like any young man growing up in England. He was very much into career into. He was thinking about becoming an English teacher at one point when he was growing up. He studied Shakespeare and other stuff. I mean, he performed plays when he was going to school, secondary modern school. And also, he had a knack for drama. When he was 15, he started getting more into the local theater scene. And, he started becoming, reporters really liked his performances. He had a look and style to him. This is him with his, hair. I mean, look at him. Kind of like, kind of looks like I'm trying to think of an actor today that looks like him. I'm trying to think of whoever you think of. This picture reminding you of somebody. This was a description later. Anyway, during his times, he mostly just did a lot of theater. Mostly local theater. He did several plays from everything with the Royal Shakespeare Company from 1966 to 87. He played so many different characters, such as I, Claudius, the Tinker Tailor soldier spy. I mean, he had a list of attributes. He did some stuff on television, some miniseries over his time. And I remember years ago he was on a movie where it's about King Arthur. He was in that. You wouldn't think about it. And later on, he started his movie career. He did parts in TV shows for the BBC. He also had, sorry for the delay, folks. How life is, But I do want to continue with Sir Patrick. Anyway, as I said before, he was doing other stuff as he was working in his plays. He did TV shows. He also had appearances on such TVs as Doctor Who. That's one of my favorite TV shows. I usually watch Doctor Who. And I remember he was in the movie the John Bowman's Excalibur back in 1981. That's the movie I was talking about, where he played one of the soldiers. He has a list of a lot of stuff in England. He's also did a little horror sci-fi thing called Life Force by Toby Hooper. I remember seeing that movie years ago. He had a little bit part in it. And it's just a list of credits he has. But around about 1987, he got the opportunity to play one of the greatest characters in the history of television history. And that is one Jean-Luc Picard, Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise, the Enterprise D, as you know. This was the created from the popular Gene Roddenberry series Star Trek. As you know, this was the Next Generation. The series lasted for at least 7 years, from 1987 to 1994. I thought it was longer than that. But as a kid, you don't think about your time. I used to love to watch that because it used to come on our local ABC network at like 6 o'clock on Sundays. Never missed a beat. Uh, Sorry again. I usually don't be this busy in the morning, but when I'm doing something this important, it seems like people want to bother you, don't it? Now he played the character Jean-Luc Picard from 1987 to 1984, and to me, he was probably one of the best versions of a Starfleet captain. I mean, his episodes are some great episodes. The one where he was on the planet with the character Paul Winfield, who played the alien. You remember Paul Winfield played an episode of Star Trek, what was the one with the Search for Spock? No, was it Search for Spock, or was it the one where they put the thing in his ear? And he played the alien. They were on the was it the Picard and what's his face on the I forget how they said it. And then the one where he was Locutus de Borg. I mean, he had a lot of great episodes, But this is going to be a controversial question to anybody. To me, this is my favorite captains. I would say first, I'm gonna say Jean-Luc Picard. Sir Patrick was great. Second behind here, Benjamin Lafayette Sisko. I mean, I love Avery Brooks as Ben Sisko, and then William Shatner as James Tiberius Kirk. People will be like this. It should be Kirk first, but here's the thing like this. Picard and Kirk were like two different ends. As you know, Picard was more by the book Starfleet captain, and Kirk was more break the rules when he need to. But the reason why I have Sisko in the middle, because he'll bend the rules, but he was more of a family man. Picard never had children. We all know that Kirk had a son, but he died. But that's why I liked Avery Brooks' version of Starfleet captain better than all the others, because he had, and plus I support a brother. That's what I'm gonna say. Anyway, he did quite a few other movies and TV shows over his career doing Star Trek, and he even played the popular Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol movie. It was a version that I saw years ago. I think it was for TNT, and it was classic. And then also he was starred in the several Star Trek movies, such as the original Star Trek Generations in '94, right after the end of the series. '96 for Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek Insurrection, and the last Star Trek Nemesis. Some people wasn't the best, but hey, it's always happens sometimes. He has won several awards for Star Trek, but then in 2000 he got one of the greatest roles ever to play Professor Charles Xavier for the movie series X-Men, which was for me was the best choice. I mean, I couldn't find any other than maybe if he was still alive and around, the great late Yul Brynner, could play the character. I couldn't think of any white guy, bald enough, and especially with his accent, he could play the role of Charles Xavier, Professor X. And his relationship with Ian McKellen, both of them working together for years in Britain and plays and other stuff, they were just great as Magneto, as Eric Lesser and Magneto and Charles Xavier. Their relationship was just brilliant. Both being good friends, and how Magneto and Professor X were good friends, but also Nemesis at the same time. And the movies, I think he's been playing the roles ever since the first X-Men movie, X-Men 2, X-Men 3, which is not very popular. Then the X-Men, Futures Past. I mean, he had a list of them. And then during that time, he was doing other TV shows and movies. He was an episode of Frasier. So many other TV shows he has done. And he was also at recurring roles on the series American Dad, where he plays the boss to Stan Smith's character. He did a lot of voiceover work over his career. So he even made appearances on such as Family Guy. He even played himself on Family Guy in an animation episode. And even though he still do plays and stuff, a lot of Shakespearean stuff, he was that's where he's been always his wheelhouse has been Shakespeare. And wasn't that long ago, I think it was about 6 years ago, he was knighted by the Queen. I like this picture of him with Queen Victoria using a bat'leth. I could have used a regular sword, but the bat'leth. It has to, because Picard was was an arbiter when the time when it was the when the Klingon Empire was about to split apart. But he's just great, and his relationship as Professor X is always going to be that. I mean, even though we have a new actor who plays Professor, what's his name? Forget his name. Yeah, the Scottish dude, you know, who played the Professor in the prequel movies, and even now he looks more like X that since he shaved his head with the Phoenix movies and the others. But his last performance as Professor X was in the movie Logan. As you know, in that movie, Charles Xavier was getting old, and because of his age and his disease affected his abilities, especially his psycho and psychokinesis and stuff like that. I mean, it was just great role between him and and you know um uh, God, I forgot the guy, him and Logan. I mean, don't you hate we forget an actor's name, but and talk back in your head, But it was a great movie. I saw it. It was a great movie. The last performance as Professor X, and now, as you know, he's coming back again. He's on the Paramount streaming service, recurring his role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in the series Picard. I think by now he's an Admiral Picard, but and I hadn't really watched it as much. I've seen some of it on YouTube. I don't do streaming that much because you got to pay for it, because it could pop it on some like a cable show or something, but you know how it is. They want people to pay for TV. It's enough you got to pay for cable, Might need to cut out cable in my life. I might need to, but I still some good stuff on there. And the series Picard, was pretty much, I think people like it. And he has earned awards, as Guild Actor Screen Awards, Saturn Awards for his performance in sci-fi, especially for Star Trek. I mean, and just recently he just put his feet and his hands into the enclave for the theater, the Chinese theater over there in Hollywood. I mean, that's a good, come on, all his work he's done, especially in TV and in movies, he earns that right. I mean, and he's just a funny guy. He got to read it. He's funny. Even though he's a serious actor, he's very funny. He does some stuff that makes you laugh. Like, you ever watch those Uber Eats commercials with him and Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker and Captain Jean-Luc Picard? It's funny. Star Trek, Star Trek, Star Trek, Star Wars. I mean, just something, funny to see two, this TV and movie genre crossing each other. And, as you know, Picard supposed to be coming back for a new season. I think Whoopi Goldberg's character, a guy named supposed to return. And also, there's going to be most definitely going to see some other Star Trek characters, even though the original Data is gone. But Britt Spiner come on an previous episode. You're going to have most definitely Beverly Crusher. You're going to have I've already seen the Troy, and you already see Riker and some other characters. You're going to have a series like this. You got to have the old cast. And, most definitely he invited Whoopi to come on and return as Guy. And also I saw in a clip that, Q is coming back. John DeLance's Q. And the thing is, you would say, well, Q supposed to not look old. I seen the commercial, but the thing is, Q is what people see him. He takes the form of what people see him. That's how you got to think about it. John DeLance is like in his 60s. He's been acting for a long time. So you can't keep him young forever. So you have to look like he, how Q was. He always had a thing about being human, But, his relationships with all the people he made over the years, him and Ian McKellen being good friends and the bonds he have created with that. He's been married quite a few times. His last wife, they were married for a bit. He has 2 children. I mean, one of his son did an episode of Star Trek. It was the one where he was hit by the satellite and they played he did that flute. I can't play it. I can't do it real good, but I remember, oh God, I could do the thing on cue. My lips are a little dry. I'm talking too much. That's what it is. But I remember that. I love that flute part. I mean, when they did that flute, I mean, it was just so beautiful. I love that part. But like I said, this is a great actor. I've been a fan of his. And I know, he probably, he celebrated his birthday the other day. I hope he enjoyed it with his family, his friends. I mean, just to live as long as he have and did what he did. And I have so much respect for him. I mean, I'll always be a fan of Patrick Stewart. Sir Patrick Stewart, excuse my language. I gotta remember myself. Remember, put that sir in. And the characters he have created and developed. No, he hadn't created, but he developed over the years. And I think there could be no other actor to play some of those roles. So, out of respect to Sir Patrick Stewart, happy birthday, sir, and many, many more. So, to get it out of number one, engage. It's me, always, George Page. Don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.